Okay, so I went on a road trip and I read 4 books, and this is one of the books that I read. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This, I actually read it, it was an ebook. Young adult slash adult, probably like maybe new adult, I don't know, it could have been young adult, whatever. Fiction, supposed to be thriller, um, but it was more like kind of a mystery. It won Goodreads um, Thriller of the Year, and it was on Reese Witherspoon's book club, and it was a New York Times bestseller. Um, on the blurb it says mystery, but it won the Goodreads Thriller of the Year, which I felt was like really weird. So I gave it 2 stars, and here's my review that I wrote on Goodreads. This is not a thriller. There was nothing thrillery about it. There was no twist either. It was a mystery, I guess, but not a very good one. I didn't like it. The self-sacrificing was so heavy-handed. The reveal felt very flat. The first half was good in that I was very curious, but once the reveal hit, way before the end, it got boring real quick. Hannah's quick thinking, i.e. unrealistic guessing and luck, led her to be way too removed from reality. It just was so removed. Even Bailey constantly saying, "My father," like how every other 16-year-old does. Blah. I have a little synopsis or overview. Obviously, spoilers. This is just for people who have read the book or who don't ever want to read it. I don't blame you. So just an overview here. The characters, there's only 3. I think I literally only mentioned 5 characters in here, but the 3 main characters are Hannah is the main girl. I'm pretty sure it's first person. Owen, Hannah's husband. They've been married for like 2-ish years. And then Bailey is Owen's daughter. She's 16. She's from a previous marriage, and her mom is dead. So Hannah gets a note. This is the opening scene. Hannah gets a note saying, "Protect her," in Owen's handwriting. Owen doesn't come home from work. Bailey gets a bag full of like $1 million cash. Where is he? OMG, what's going on? In the news, the company that he works for, which it was a startup, and he's like number 2. Like, I don't think he's literally number 2 in the company. But when it started up, he was like the only other one in it. Is being raided because they misled investors and stole money because the software that they were developing, they said it was ready and it wasn't ready. She's thinking, my husband is the good guy. How could he? This doesn't seem right. She gets a lawyer and he's like, Owen and Bailey don't exist. Come to find out, Owen made new identities for himself and his daughter before she could remember. But why? Bailey has some super vague memory of going to a wedding in Texas when she was 4. And they go there. Bailey and Hannah go there to remember stuff and follow potential leads. Come to find out that when he was in college, so they find like he had told some stories about his college professor, and they found the college professor, and then they end up finding like the class that he must have been in based on the year. Come to find out when he was in college, he had a classmate, her name is Catherine, who he fell in love with and married and had a baby with, who was Bailey. And he worked for her dad, who was a lawyer. I don't remember his name, so let's just say John. John started out as a good lawyer, but as time went on, ended up pretty much working for the mob and getting them out of jail time and like keeping them on the right side of the law. Essentially, he was really good at his job, but I guess he messed up, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I guess he messed up one time, and it resulted in Catherine being run over by a car purposefully. That's Catherine, John's daughter. Owen is so distraught and blames John, so he leaks all the nefarious info that he has on him to the police, and John, as well as some of the mobbies, go to jail for a while, not that long, like 6 years, and Owen runs with his daughter. He doesn't go into witness protection. Because they had recently had a leak, and he didn't want to risk that because he loves his daughter too much. So he moves to San Francisco, and then years later meets Hannah, and they marry. The U.S. Marshals who are working with them say, hey, just go into witness protection, and you can all go live on a foreign island, probably Utah, though, and with Owen, and be one big happy family with new identities. Hannah's like, oh no, Bailey will have to uproot her whole life and her friends in her college she wants to go to. We can't do that. And also, Hannah was a world-renowned wood turner, which is like a carpenter for interior design. She makes like wall hanging stuff and dining tables and stuff. I don't know. She was world renowned, so she's like kind of famous. She would have to literally give up her livelihood and her like favorite hobby, but she just brushes that off and doesn't really mention it, as though it's not like one of the biggest reasons why she does what she's about to do. Like she acts like it's just because she loves Bailey. So she legit she finds John and she goes to him and she says, "Hey, what do you think about Sunday dinners with Bailey, your granddaughter?" I'm paraphrasing. "In exchange for us not having to run again, i.e. protection from yourself and the mob." John says, enticing, but I can't stop the mob from killing Owen if Owen is like right there. So pretty much he'll have to stay separate from you in hiding. And Hannah says, okay, while simultaneously praising herself for her self-sacrificing and her amazing negotiating skills for her stepdaughter. And that's the end. So they never see. In the end, I think she like sees Owen again for like a second. She sees him, but essentially they never see Owen again. And you're thinking, what was the thriller part of that? Yeah, exactly. There was nothing. There was no thriller anything. I was expecting it to be like he's on the run because he killed somebody, or he has a separate family, or there's something crazy going on with Bailey's mom who's like still alive, or maybe they know who she is. The 16-year-old was literally the least dramatic of all of these characters, and she was pretty dang dramatic. The remembering scenes, like the reminiscing scenes that Hannah had about Owen were so dumb. They just like, they would be like super short, and they'd be like obviously about the thing that she was just then thinking about, and it would advance the story amazingly. She remembered this one thing that he had done, and then oh, that was just the thing she needed to think of to you know, get the next lead or whatever. It was very like, oh, that it was a little too perfect. And the whole story pretty much was like Bailey hates her for no reason, and she really wants Bailey to like her, so she does this so that Bailey will like her, and like Bailey does end up liking her. And she'd better, because it's going to be them two against the world forever. And I guess she was like, this is what Owen wants. This is what Owen wants. But what I said in my Goodreads review about how like her like intuition, which she like ended up just like being really lucky. So many times she'd be like, and this is what I wanted. She was like an actress. Like she would act like, oh, and I was just trying to get what I wanted, in whatever conversation she was doing with somebody to get information out of them, acting like she's some kind of freaking FBI agent or something. The way that she did that with John, with obviously I don't remember his real name, with Charlie, with the lady at the church, with the professor, all of that, she like was just working to get what she wanted. I was thinking like, maybe it'll turn out that she's literally insane. She's the crazy one, because she acted like a crazy person would act, like a serial killer would act, where you know, they're all like sickly sweet and somehow like lie through their teeth like crazy, and then get whatever they want, turn their back and do something insane. I thought it would be like that, because that's how like on her feet thinking she was, but it was like not in a way that any real person is without them being insane. So I didn't like that very much. Also, Owen is like so good. Owen would never do that. Owen, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's that good, okay? Boring. Owen was completely boring. There was nothing worth writing home about his whole personality. Literally, the number of times that they said how much Owen loved Bailey was like insane. And I'm thinking like, okay, so like a regular parent loves their child. A regular single parent, especially, like they live to protect their child. Wow, that's so unheard of. So that was dumb. So I just thought it was like, it just felt like it was not thought out at all. And I didn't really enjoy it at all. The reveal was literally, as I was reading it, I was like, this is it? Really, this is it? This is the twist? It was not a twist. That was The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I don't have much else to say about it. This is a quick one.
That's all.